Welcome to our round 16 match preview. I'm joined by AFL.com.au's Michael Whiting. And Fish, before we get started, let's start with Jago O'Meara and his return to football. It was great to see on the weekend.
Mate, it was so exciting last weekend. It's one of the best news stories for Gold Coast this year, I think. And just to see him back out there, not only back out on the field, but contributing so well. I mean, he played 2 quarters, clean hands, good in the air, good on the ground. It was so exciting. You could feel that the whole club was uplifted by his return.
It was a great day for the club as well. The Suns are finally back on the winners list.
Yeah, great to see after 10 losses in a row. I think everyone was getting a bit itchy for that win. And a really good 3.5 quarters, maybe tailed off a bit late, but no real concerns there. And terrific play from the back line, the midfield and the forwards. I mean, they gave Pete Wright and Tommy Lynch plenty of opportunities. So a great performance, and it's been building for a while. And I think Rodney Eade will be hoping it continues over the last 8 weeks of the season.
Just on those two, Peter Wright obviously won the NAB Rising Star Award, and Tom Lynch a club record 14 marks. How dangerous is that forward line starting to look?
Oh, it's potent, Kieran. Tommy Lynch has established himself as one of the form players in the entire competition. He'd be a front runner for an All-Australian berth at the moment. And Peter Wright just seems to grow every week. I think he's kicked 3 goals 3 times now. And I think the contested mark work's the most impressive thing. He's going to be bigger than most of his opponents, but the fact that he's taking marks between defenders in amongst packs of 3 and 4, very, very hard 2-man combination to stop.
Looking forward to this week. Obviously, Sam Day's down there as well. How does the Lions backline match up with them?
It'll be tough. I mean, they're big guys, the Suns forwards. So I think Daniel Merritt will normally take the man closest to goal. It might be Tommy Lynch sometimes, it might be Peter Wright. Harris Andrews, who I personally think is a terrific young talent in the same mould as a Peter Wright at the other end of the ground. I think those two will spend a bit of time on each other. And then you're looking at a Dan McStay or possibly a Darcy Gardner to take on Sam Day. So they've got matchups there. I think the Suns might have a slight edge, but there's certainly personnel there to match up.
The Lions have had a pretty tough run of matches, but they obviously set themselves for these QCLASH games.
Yeah, they seem to. They haven't won since the last QCLASH, and that was a surprise at the time. I know the Suns got the better of Brisbane twice last year, but we look at the back end of 2014, and that was another shock performance from Brisbane. They do seem to lift for this match. I mean, there's not a lot to play for at the back end of the season for Brisbane, so I know they love nothing more than to make it a clean sweep against the Suns this season. And
no doubt the round 4 result will give them a bit of confidence as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they were underdogs that game. They were trailing until the Steve May, Steph Martin incident, and that seemed to, I mean, maybe it was coincidence, maybe not, but it seemed to galvanise them and fire them up, and they played a terrific second half. So I think they will get plenty of confidence. They know that they can beat the Suns. So I guess we'll see, but if they're going to be confident, it'll be this weekend.
And where do you think the game will be won and lost on the weekend?
I mean, the easy answer's in the midfield because that's where everything starts from. But I think it will come down to that forward line, the Suns forwards and the Lions backmen. Because if the Suns forwards get an even supply of ball down there, I think those forwards are very, very difficult to stop. So I tend to think it'll be won in that part of the ground.
And let's get a couple of predictions from you. Firstly, the result. Who do you think is going to win the game?
I think the Suns will make it 2 in a row. I think if they play their best footy, I don't think Brisbane can match it with them in any part of the ground, actually. I think the Suns will win by... they should win by quite a bit. I won't put a margin on it because that'll alienate people, I'm sure. But I think it should be a comfortable win if the Suns play their best footy.
And who's going to take home best on ground, the Marcus Ashcroft medal?
Oh, I love a favourite, Kieran, so I'm going to go with Tommy Lynch. I just think he's such a... He doesn't put in a bad performance at the moment, and he kicked 5 against Brisbane in the club's first matchup this year. So I think he's a hard man to stop, and I'll lean towards Tommy Lynch.
Thanks for your time, Fish, and thanks for joining us on today's match preview. Don't miss QCLASH 12 here at Metricon Stadium this Saturday afternoon.